What up, this is Ricky Ross. Check out my interview with Pascal, Archimede on Nuffy, #1 on Black culture.
I say that Freeway Ricky Ross is Snoop Dogg before Snoop Dogg because he was a loving, caring individual. Yeah, he sold cocaine. Yeah, that was the thing to do back then. But I say he's like Snoop Dogg in the way of he made sure that everybody from every community had income and had money and had resources to get money. He spreaded the wealth. So to me, I look at him as a ghetto superstar, hero.
Good morning, Freeway Ricky Ross.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to have you with us today. You are an American entrepreneur, author, and former drug kingpin, best known for the drug empire that you established in LA, California, in the early to mid-1980s. We will, of course, get back to this part of your life, but to start, where is your nickname, Freeway Ricky, coming from?
My mom's house was on the side of the freeway, so we stayed really close to the freeway.
That's
really
it.
Simple.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Okay.
Nothing fancy.
So
don't read what the newspapers say.
Okay, all right. That's the reason why I'm asking you. That's the reason why I'm asking you straight, you know, because I know the information will be coming from you. You see what I mean?
They don't know.
So, you know, tell me, I would like to know a little bit about your childhood, because I know that at the age of 5, you saw your mom kill your brother George, and it's also at this age, so it was back in 1965, that you left Texas to LA.
Yep.
So those two events have an impact on your adulthood.
Absolutely. Everything that happens to you affects you some kind of way. It's just a matter of how you use those things that touch your life. And definitely moving from Texas was definitely a change of events, you know, for a young kid. But I'm glad I moved, you know. I love California. I love LA. I love the LA mentality. With Texas, people are more passive. You know, when I was growing up, even though my uncles and aunties were older than white people, they still said, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. They didn't get that same type of respect when they were addressed. I didn't like it.
Okay. All right. Okay. And so how did you get into the cocaine and crack cocaine business?
One of my friends introduced me. But before that, you know, I saw the movie Superfly, and I was really fascinated with the guy in Superfly because he had made white police officers stand down. You know, he beat them. Yeah,
I remember this movie. I saw it, so I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, so when I saw that movie, you know, I saw a black man make white police officers with guns stand down, and I just fell in love with him, you know, and I wanted to be like him, even though, you know, I never thought that was possible. But then one day, you know, my friend introduced me, and later on I learned that with the subconscious mind, once you feed it something, it has a way of bringing that you desire to you. And eventually it brought me the cocaine game.
Okay, and words also are powerful, because you know what is coming from your mouth, very often you can make it concrete. You see what I mean?
Absolutely.
Okay, but I also know that you almost became a tennis pro.
Yeah, I was pretty good. I was pretty good at tennis. You know, I worked out with a lot of the pros, and I played a few pro tournaments, you know. I had an opportunity.
Okay, all right. And how did you move up the ladder in the drug business? Because some people say that this is your meeting with Daniel Brandon. So of course I would like you to tell me who he was that allowed you to move up in this business.
No, it wasn't him. I was gonna move up anyway.
Okay.
Everything that I've done in life, I've always moved up. I met Danilo Blandon in the early 80s. He was a Nicaraguan. He was also trafficking in cocaine from his country. He was the Minister of Agriculture. for Nicaragua, who was being backed by the United States, CIA. And I had a teacher to introduce me to him. Okay. But he wasn't the reason. I was going to make it anyway. You know, I used to think that he was the reason that I made it, but no, he's not. It's my mind. It's my attitude. It's my determination, my ability to sacrifice, to wait to later. You know, I don't have to eat everything that I get right now. I can save some for later. You know, I can share some with others, and that gives me an ability to draw from others the things that I need from them as well.
Okay, all right. Because, you know, some people refer to you as the gang godfather, because you are, that's what I read in newspapers. So, and the reason why they're calling you the gang godfather is because you are said to have provided massive amounts of cocaine to gangs in LA and also in other states that would turn it into crack cocaine and sell it in black neighborhood.
Yeah, I did, but those were my friends. Yeah, you know, the blind leading the blind. When you don't know, you have a tendency to lead other people down the wrong path as well as yourself, and that's what was taking place. So, you know, I was a young boy. You know, I started at 19 years old. So, you know, you can't hold a 19-year-old accountable forever for something that he did when he was 19 and 20 years old. So, those were, you know, those are youthful things. Useful things.
Because that's the question I wanted to ask you. How much responsibility do you consider having in crack epidemic in black neighborhoods?
I take some responsibility, but you know, when you start to ask people to take responsibility, you have to go all the way down the chain. You know, you have to go to the guy who taught me, and then the guy who taught him, and then the guy who taught him, and you know, it's like a never-ending journey. My thing is that we should be trying to solve the problem, not figure out, you know, who is responsible. Once you find out, you know, the culpable people, then you can move on. And here in the U.S., nothing's going to be done to the people who was really responsible for the whole thing. You know, yeah, I was involved, but I've never been out of this country. You know, I never had a boat. I never had a helicopter, airplane. So there's plenty of blame to go around. I look for solutions.
Okay, all right. So you know what? Before moving on, because I would like to ask you, speaking about responsibilities, did the CIA and the Reagan administrations have responsibilities in the crack epidemic in black neighborhoods?
Well, they allowed the drugs to be brought in, so everybody have to be their own judge. They admitted that they knew that their army was trafficking in cocaine. So, you know, you have to be the judge and not me. My views are biased.
Okay, all right. So you know what? On your best days, how much money did you make?
I made 3 million, 3.2 million, 3.5 million in one day.
And what did you do with this money? Because I mean, how could you launder such amounts of cash money? Because I presume that people were not paying you with credit cards or by check.
Oh, people launder money for you. You know, they just charge you a little more for the product to turn their head, or you know, they give you a check. You go give them cash money, they give you a check.
All right, but so did you invest? Because I heard that you invested in motels. You invested in.
Yeah, I had a lot of investments. You know, I was trying to be a businessman then, but you know, like I said, I was young, didn't know much. You know, had never read a book, so I didn't really know what I was doing.
Speaking about,
but now I do. But now I do.
Okay, all right. Speaking about books, I heard that you were illiterate since the age of 28, and now you are an author.
Author of 2 books.
Yeah,
I have 2 books out. We're really 3 because I got a novel out as well. I got two books, nonfiction and 1 fiction book.
Okay, all right. You know what? Because we will be speaking about, you know, what you're doing right now. But back in 1986, under Reagan presidency, the Anti-Drug Abuse Act was passed. What was this law and what impact did it have on the Black community?
Well, in one of the key things in that bill that affected the Black community is they punished crack cocaine 100 times worse than they did powder cocaine. That was a devastating effect. They also made it where you did 85% of your time. So with those combined things, really hurt the Black community.
And of course, because of this law, there's been an increase in terms of overpopulation in prison of Black people, right?
Correct.
Okay, all right, okay. Because, you know, some people refer to this law as a kind of new Jim Crow laws.
Yeah. What's the name? Michelle Alexander, in her book, The New Jim Crow, she talks about that.
Okay, all right, okay. And so you spent 20 years in and out of prison. Why did you get sentenced to life without the possibility of parole in 1996?
Well, I had a prior conviction. It looked like 2 prior convictions, and they 3-struck me, but they couldn't do it.
Why?
Because there was only 1 conviction.
Okay. All right. And so finally, you got released in 2009. Why did your sentence get shortened?
I won my appeal.
Okay.
I showed them that they could only give me 20 years.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you had good lawyers?
No, I was the lawyer.
You were the lawyer? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And since you're released from prison...
And I did have a good lawyer, yes.
Okay, all right. And since you're released from prison, you've become an author as well as an entrepreneur. Can you tell us about your various activities?
Well, right now, the one I'm most excited about is the cannabis industry. You know, I have a cannabis license, so I can now sell marijuana here in California legally, all over California, and I'm excited about it. It's going to be a lot of job opportunities for Blacks all over the state, and I feel like I'm on the right track.
Okay. All right. What about your books? Because, okay, all right. So just to remind you, I mean, but you know it. So you released Freeway Ricky Ross back in 2014.
Yes.
So what is it about?
It's about my life, how I grew up, you know, how I started to think the way I thought, how I was able to take $125 and build it up to $3 million a day sometimes.
All right. And your second book is entitled The 21 Keys of Success, and it was released back in 2019. What is it about?
It's about me taking these new principles that I found from prison and using them to navigate my life.
Okay. All right. And you told me that right now you're working on a 3rd book. Can you tell me more about it?
No, not really. I don't want to give up much.
But roughly, what is the topic? Just to know what it's
about. It's gonna be about why people don't want money.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's keep
It's gonna be me asking a question. Okay.
So let's keep it as a secret. And I know also, have you ever thought of translating those books in different languages to reach a larger audience?
I want to, but I wanted to you know, I started with no money, so I have to work my way up little by little, improve. So as I improve financially, then I'll start to translate them. I'm self-published. You know, I publish my own books.
Okay. All right. Okay.
The publishers didn't think nobody wanted to read my book, so they didn't.
Because strangely, I read somewhere that, you know, your 2 books got different awards. You got rewarded for your books.
Yes. Amazon, Freeway Ricky Ross was a bestseller on Amazon a few times. And I got another award for the other one. I don't got lots of awards for the books though. Yeah, I got a few awards. some of the things that I've done with my books, when people find out, they're going to be amazed, you know, that I've sold so many books myself.
Okay. All right. Okay. And of course, there is this show entitled Looking for Game with Freeway Ricky. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, well, that's my way of bringing back people who have information that could help others, and they share the game with everybody else. They tell their secrets, how they made it, you know, why they're so successful.
Okay. All right. Okay. So speaking about, that's another topic. You sued rapper William Leonard Roberts, aka Ricky Ross, for stealing your name. Is this case closed? And if it is closed, what is the result?
Yeah, the case is closed. I lost in court. The courts told him that he could still use the name. But it's not really closed yet. It's still a public opinion.
Okay.
You know, how the public feel about, you know, some gangster rapper taking on somebody else's name. You know, that's still out. And we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. So, and in the documentary Freeway Cracking the System, you stated, and I quote you, selling cocaine was my purpose in life. So what is your purpose in life today in 2020?
To educate the people.
I like that.
So that they don't believe that cocaine is their purpose in life.
I like that. Okay, all right. Last question I'm going to ask you, Ricky. Are you still playing tennis?
Only with my babies.
Okay, because let me tell you something. I've been playing tennis for more than 30 years. And I hope that next time we meet is going to be on a tennis court. You and I.
Let's do it.
All right.
When this pandemic is over, I come over to France and we see. I never played on clay before.
Okay, all right. So it's going to be your first time. Hey,
yes.
Take care of yourself. Thank you for this conversation. And we keep in touch, Ricky. Okay?
All right, you too.
All right, take care.